Today, I'm going to share with you a lot about my personal life because there's an important issue rising up right now that people are blaming everyone and everything around them. The average person is blaming the government, their friends, their family for all of their own issues. And personal responsibility for what happens in your life has always been something that people think or believe is or isn't something that you have control over. And I'm here today to walk you through my life over a few stages to explain exactly why it is a basically proven fact that your life is in total control by only one person, and that is yourself. And this means, and the reason why people avoid this truth is because that means they're also responsible for all of the horrible things that are happening to them in some way or another. Now, of course, there is luck. There are some circumstances you cannot help. But for the majority of things that happen in your life, you know exactly why they happened. You possibly made them happen, or you did something that caused something else to happen that then brought that into your life. So I'm going to walk you through some of my life story, the decisions I could have made, and why I am where I am today, and where I'm going to go because of the actions I am taking today. Now, there are 4 stories I'm going to be sharing that are all true, and that are going to cover how I could have gone down a horrible path or gone down a great path of being able to control and manage and be successful with my finances, my relationships, and my health. And everything I'm about to tell you is true, and it's going to be accurate, and I'm sharing this again because people need to realize that where they're headed in life and where the world is headed is due to the mindsets that are currently in play throughout our society, and I want them to change for the better. I want people to change and become better. So what I'm sharing with you does not come from me trying to control other people or micromanage them or do anything in any negative way in any fashion. I'm not talking about myself in a way that is boasting. I'm simply sharing the decisions I made that led me either down this path or this path, because every day you make the decisions on what you're doing daily that decide a little bit at a time where your future is headed with each area of your life. You can't blame anything else around you. Let me go through right now and share these stories with you, and I hope this video is something that you will enjoy. Please make sure to comment. Let me know your thoughts on these issues that I'm going to go through. Let me know about yourself. I can talk with you and we can talk about what you have going on. We can connect. And if you'd like this video as well, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like it. So let's begin with these 4 stories and why they are so impactful, why they illustrate why your decision making on how you control your emotions and actions will dictate your life, which means you are control. Total control for the good and for the bad things that happen. Number 1, the first story is how I grew up with not very much. Between the ages from when I was born to most likely around the age of 13 to 15 years old, our family did not have much. We did not grow up going on vacations. We did not grow up and even going out to eat very often. If we did, it was to McDonald's, and it was like, oh my God, we're going to McDonald's. You know, where I came from, my background, my parents at one point owned 2 offline businesses, of which went bankrupt. Our family went bankrupt, and we lived in someone else's basement in welfare apartments. Our cars were taken away. We had nothing. Now, what did my parents do? Because a lot of people get into this situation, and they fail at recognizing that they are, at least mostly, are partially responsible for why they're in this situation. My parents decided to take a look at, okay, what could we have done better? What can we do better now? What can we improve upon? So my parents saved more money, stopped wasting money. They got multiple jobs and did everything they could to move our family out of that situation. And guess what? They did. Now, watching this and going through this, most people in life either duplicate the experiences they go through, good or bad, or they think about them and change their mind on what they mean, and then take a different action from there. So most people going through poverty at some point in their lives usually stay in it or get back into it. And I almost did. So a few years passed when I'm around 18 years old. I'm running my own business, and I am unfortunately trying to do everything I can to keep the business growing, doing well, and spending all of my money on traveling, basically mainly on traveling to get me and my name out there for my affiliate marketing business, which I still run passively. Well, not passively, but it runs more in the background than it's not my main only focus. I have a few other businesses running too. But the point is, while this was happening, I neglected what I went through before, what my family went through before, of managing expenses better, managing and trying to earn more money. And I, at the time, went nearly bankrupt technically for a second time. The first one was through my family. The second time was myself. And I, at one point, and I've talked about this in a few podcasts and different things, I had like 50 or 60 bucks left in my bank account because I was so consumed with, I was making sure I was going out to eat all the time. I was making sure I was doing this all the time. I was getting everything I wanted. I was taking care of my now ex-girlfriend, and I was just trying to get my name and an image out there without really taking a second to stop and think about what I was doing and think to myself, okay, my money's going down. I don't have a lot of resources. How can I make this situation better? So I got down to my last 50 or 60 bucks or so, and then I had an aha moment. I do not want to go back to what life was like before when we had nothing. Now, also, obviously at this time I was moved out. So I decided, you know what, I need to do what my parents did, look at this past experience and not propel it to happen again. I almost did. I need to make my situation better and change how I'm acting, stop what I'm doing, cut expenses, work a lot more, put a lot more effort into my business, into life, and manage my finances much better. Which most people don't even stop and think and write down what they have going on in their lives financially. They don't. Let me ask this question to you. Do you know your total expenses every single month? Or can you estimate your total expenses within 5 or 10 seconds? Most people can't. And if you were to actually write down your expenses, most likely you're going to be either ashamed, feel horrible about, or just be in awe at how much you spend on things you do not need, that don't even maybe even make you happy, or that you could use alternative things to spend money on that would make you happy, or that would grow your income, or do different things. You need to. In the financial world, when both these situations happened, my parents made the right decision. They stopped, they thought, they got themselves out of the situation they were in, and our family was in, by taking action to move themselves in a better direction. They could have blamed the '08. This was in '08. They could have blamed the crisis that was happening, which I'm sure they were upset about, and that did have an effect on my dad's businesses and on our entire town's economy. But unlike other people who went bankrupt and stayed there, my parents never went back. They didn't stay there. They moved out. Me, growing up, a few years later, almost went through the situation again. But what I did was I decided I'm going to buckle down, work nonstop, and do everything I can, even if I have to do the most cheapest jobs possible online for my business. I need to get money coming in. And I was around 18 years old, 19 years old. So I could have just kept doing my thing, and I would have went bankrupt myself. I could have said, you know what? I love what I'm doing. I love eating out so much. I love buying all these different things. I love traveling so much. I'm just going to go in credit card debt, pay all these interest rates, get even worse, in a worse situation for myself, and ruin my life. If you are in a rough situation right now, financially, pause. Write down your income. Write down your expenses. Write down the ones that you can reduce in some way or form. Write down and think about, how can I increase my income through working more, through getting a second job, a third job, whatever you need to do that is necessary to grow and secure your future. So you do not stay in the situation you are in, but do not end up in that situation again. If you have a business that's not running profitably right now, maybe you need to get a job alongside your business to scale things out, to run more profitably, or run at a loss in your business but still have money coming in. It doesn't matter. Do what you know you should do if you are being the best person you could be in the financial aspect of your life and every other aspect of your life. That decision I made to take control again, do what I know was right, kept me from losing the house I was renting, losing my car, at the time losing my girlfriend, and a bunch of other things that would have been horrible for me. Now, this second story I'm sharing has to do a lot with the friendships and relationships you make, because your friendships and relationships will be very responsible for helping manage your emotions, how happy you are because you feel fulfilled, that you have good people in your life, or maybe you feel horrible because you have bad people in your life. And the story is going to go through one situation. Well, there was a lot of situations where during my high school years, younger high school years, but also towards the end of high school, I really didn't have any friends. And it was partially my fault. One of the best friends I have ever had, probably my best friend. I have a bunch of really good best friends who are they're all pretty much tied. They're all great. I love them all very, very much. By the time it was my only real friend, my friend Halen, who is amazing, I stopped being friends with them because I was fed up. I thought I was right, and I made a huge mistake. So I lost my friend there. Where I could have, a few months later, he reached out to me. He texted me, and I blew him off, basically. And I could have got him back earlier because we're friends now, which is amazing, and I'm so happy for it. But I could have had him as a friend again much earlier if I wouldn't have thought I was just right and only me was right. So that was one situation where I didn't have any friends. It was my fault because I pushed Jon to the side and I shouldn't have. And there was another situation where after me and him were friends again, I was so fed up with other people, and I was thinking that I did nothing wrong, that I was just this perfect brainchild who was so smart, who had everything together, and I was trying to move myself forward, and I was moving myself forward, but I was so consumed with thinking only I was right that I was pushing people away by how I acted. And for almost 2-3 years, I basically had no friends, no friends I hung out with. Or it was maybe I hung out with them, but I didn't really feel like a good connection with them, or it just wasn't the same. And because of that, I was lonely as hell. I remember one time I even went to my dad and asked him, why does no one like me? I was bawling my eyes out because no one would talk to me. People I talked to would ditch me. A bunch of different situations were happening with certain people I was talking to and stuff, and it just seemed like no one cared about me. And I realized, and I thought about it, and I took a step back, and my dad helped me talk through this too, and a few different things, people I talked to, and it was how I was acting, how I was not focusing on other people. I was focusing so much on my own personal development that I forgot to help and want to work with and just have fun and be with my friends and talk with people and ask and help them move forward in life. So I again made the transition, kind of being lonely as hell, having no one to really talk to about anything much, other than my family, of course. I decided I needed to be there more with my friends, build strong relationships, and actually focus on the few real relationships with people that actually genuinely cared for me. I need to focus on building relationships with those people and making those lifelong relationships. So the people who I really cared about most, which are pretty much everyone I can think of that I talk to right now, are the main people in my life that I care about more than anything else. So that's where, again, in life, if you're feeling like you are working with the wrong people, if you feel like you are just not connecting with people, if you feel like your friends or even some of your family members are not actually there for you, they don't actually care about you, they don't actually do anything back. If you're putting yourself out there to actually work with them, help them, be there for them, there's zero reciprocation back. You might need to cut them off. You might need to make better friends. You might need to stop and decide, is this person actually critical for my happiness and being with them in life? Or are they damaging me? This is also where a lot of people have people that are damaging them and hurting them in life, but they keep being friends or family with them. You have to realize that if there is zero or almost no reciprocation of love, of being there for someone, in any relationship of any kind, it has to go to the wayside. Maybe not forever, but at least temporarily, because in life, relationships are a huge part, both with a spouse, with your girlfriend maybe, and also with your friends, are huge for how happy you are a lot of times, because you love people, you enjoy being with people, and those people you're with make you either feel really good or really bad, depending on how good of a time you have with them and how they act and treat you and how you act and treat them. So I'm just hope that, number one, with your friends and family, don't always think that you're right. If you are right, that doesn't always have to be a priority. Number two, try to reason with yourself on why your friends or family may be right. And try to reason and talk with them as well. If you have issues with your family and friends, you need to at least try talking with them. Even if it's really difficult, try talking with them in some format or way to make things better. Always try to move your relationships to a better, more meaningful, good format. At least have peace. And as well, get rid of the bad people in your life. They are toxic, and they will help ruin your life and draw you in a direction that you do not want to go in. Only be in relationships with, or it's again, like with the spouse, like with the girlfriend, or friends with people who you know who truly have your back. It's all my friends and family. I know 1000% they all have my back, and that's why I love them so much. So work with good people. Get rid of all the bad ones, even the ones that you love that are hurting you all the time. They have to go by the wayside, even if it's temporarily, maybe permanently. I don't know your situation. But my point is, I could have made the decision. There are some friends that I had that were not good for me, that were bad for me, that thankfully I realized those are not people I want to hang around. Those are not people that are good. Those are not people that actually care about me. And that's why I also realized who my real true friends are. These people always, while they were critical of me, they always wanted the best for me. They always wanted me to be a better, good person and make good decisions. Where these other friends that I had throughout high school and stuff, they were just kind of there, and they really didn't have my best interests in mind. So what I did when I was younger, to make sure I had really good quality friends, is I had the friends that, again, really weren't there for me. I said, you know what, I can't be friends with you anymore. I love you as a person when you are good to me, but because you're so consistently bad and don't really seem to actually care, you have to go by the wayside. I have to work with and only find the people who truly love me, who I can love back. So I made that decision, and you have to make that decision for yourself too, because often people blame, well, I have to talk to this person, or I have to talk to this family member. No, you don't. You decide what you do in your life. You don't have and let life decide who you talk to and what you do. Finally, the third story is really important because it is what affects all the other aspects of your life. And it is your own self-management of your mental and physical health. This is something that, fortunately, I've always made sure to try to focus on, because I've seen in life many family members and other people, family friends, and friends, family members and stuff, die because they did not take care of their health. They did not take care of themselves. They did not do what they should have done to be healthy. And they didn't take care of what's in here. So I really wanted to talk through something that everyone needs to make sure they're doing, is to breathe. Stop thinking so critically about themselves and just try to focus on what you can do better for yourself, for your family, and for your friends. And that means, in my mind, I think in many people's mind, that means taking care of yourself both physically and emotionally, making sure that you're in the best shape you possibly can, as much as you can, and make sure that you are thinking through in your head and managing how and learning how to think properly. Because over the years, you of course will mature, and how you think about different subjects, pains, pleasures, and all these different things is going to change. But you also get to dictate how you think about things. And how you think about things dictates your actions, and your actions dictates the results you see in life. So what you need to do is, no matter what, again, whether you're going through hard times, going through good times, you're kind of just in the middle, it doesn't matter. You need to focus on making sure you are learning how to manage your mind better and focusing on your health. So what does managing your mind better mean? It means when things are happening that are stressful, when things are happening that are bad, when things are happening that are emotional, you have to learn how to manage how you think so they're not quite as bad. Here's why. Because when you react exceptionally emotionally, that makes you do, say, and think things that may be things that you cannot take back, that may be things that you cannot change. They may be things that are going to do way more harm than you think. There's going to be secondary and tertiary and third, fourth, fifth effects that happen from you doing, saying, or thinking this thing. So you want to make sure you are focusing on learning how to think about things properly, learning how to manage a stressful situation. Say your job sucks, you hate it, you're not sure what to do, you're not getting paid enough. How can you, in this situation, it's horrible. Maybe there's very little you can do, but what's something small you can either do or think differently about it that will make it a little bit better? Because a lot of people right now, especially in this day and age, have a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety. They are constantly frustrated. They are constantly just unsure of themselves and unsure of what to do in their life's journey. So you have to stop, take time, like actually physically take time to think about what you want. What do you want out of this life? What do you want to do in your life? Where do you want to go? Where do you want to live? Who do you want to live and be with? Who do you want for your friends and family? Also, who do you want to be as a person? Who do you want to be inside? Do you want to be someone who's sad and just goes along with life? Or do you want to be someone who enjoys and loves and wants more out of life and who truly desires to live and do everything they can to give to other people? That's how I've trained my mind to be, because through going through different things myself and seeing other people and other friends and other family members and so on and so forth go through the cycles of ups and downs, I've learned that the best way to live life, if there is a best way, because I'm not sure my way is the best way, but I know there's a few different things you can do where almost all the time it's at least a little bit better. Pain is a little less painful. Joy is a little bit more joyful. You need to learn and try to think about more of appreciating what you do have, appreciating what you can have, appreciating just living, and also being thankful for everything you have, because there are a lot of people in life that do have it so much more unbelievably worse than yourself, even if you believe you're in a really horrible situation. There are so many other people that have it so much worse. So be thankful for what you have, and also think about and realize things will get better. Your pain is temporary. Things will get better. But also, pleasure is temporary. Great things are temporary. They will pass. So you must also realize and think about, how can I keep more good things coming to me? How can I think about and appreciate life so that more of this stuff comes to me? And I keep thinking about things in a positive, refreshing, great way. That type of thinking and that type of managing yourself. Also, by the way, managing your health, working out and eating better. Working out and eating better also affects your emotions, which affects how you think as well. So that will also help improve your attitude, which again, if you improve your attitude, you improve how you think, you're going to think more positive, refreshing, exciting, new ideas and thoughts, which will progressively make you do and take better actions, get you better results, become a better person, and so on and so forth. So think about yourself, think about your character, because when I was younger, sometimes I was thinking about, well, I'm mad, I'm pissed off at everyone around me, I was lonely, I didn't have any friends, I hate all these people, I can't stand them. And then I thought about and realized I could have went down a dark path. Like, I could have been one of those kids that end up doing something really bad. But I thought about, it's not them. It can't just be everyone else. It has to be at least partially me. How can I be better, act better, think better? So I decided I need to become, if I want the best things in life, I need to become the best version of myself possible. Because if I do that the very least improves the chance that I will see and be successful in at least a few parts of my life. So focus on yourself, focus on the thoughts in your head, focus on your health in every part of your life you possibly can. Again, you're not going to be perfect. You need to have patience with yourself. Have patience. Be thankful. Do your best. And when you do all these things together, life, instead of happening to you, will happen for you. And you will finally be in control. And the story to share with this is simply the fact that at any point during my entire life, through my parents' divorce, through a lot of bullying and having no friends and being lonely in high school, through, my family having no money, me having no money, and many other things. And again, I'm not saying like I've had the worst life possible. I think I'm blessed. What's happened to me, I am a blessed person, and I appreciate everything that has happened, good and bad. But I could have turned out and taken actions that would have made my life miserable because of how I thought. I've always tried to think, and it's always best to think, how can I at least make the best out of the situation? Say you're fired from a job. Say your girlfriend breaks up with you. Say X, Y, Z, you name it, happens. This thing is horrible. Don't make it worse. Make it at least a little bit better, or make it bearable. Do your best to make it bearable. And that's what I've always done, is I've always tried my best. Again, through a rough breakup or through whatever has happened, I need to focus on, okay, this is going bad. I know there's at least a one or two things I could do to make it a little bit better. Maybe I could laugh about the situation. Maybe I could talk to someone about the situation. Maybe I could invite someone over about the situation. Maybe I could go on YouTube, jam out. Maybe I could take a long walk. There's got to be something I can do to somehow make my situation a little bit better, more bearable, take my mind off it, and think through things. Because so many people in life, again, you're always reacting. When you're always reacting, it seems like everything's happening against you. You're always fighting against everything else around you. When you're in that mindset, you see it as real. It is your reality, that nothing else is helping you and everything is against you. So you have to get out of that by actually spending time thinking, okay, with what's happening, is there anything I could do to make it better? Is there anyone else I know who could help this situation improve? Is there anything I can learn to make this situation better? You have to be resourceful, creative, and just stop and think. Because often stopping and just thinking, like actually spending time on something, like not even a few hours, and maybe a few days before you make an important decision, can change the decision you make, that again dictates and affects the rest of what's going to happen, maybe for weeks, months, or years down the line. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope you at least, again, think about this and think about everything I've gone through, and just think about your own life, how you could have acted differently, or how you can act and think differently, and what that would cause to happen for your life, positive or negative.